With 17 pole positions and 7 F1 championships under their belt, it is obvious that Lotus knows a thing or two about handling and going fast. So now that Lotus is back with a new and improved road car, how does it stack up against the competition? Let's find out. As a follow-up to the Evora S, this new 2016 Evora 400, starting at $91,000, has a revised exterior, giving it a more modern sports car look, with a fantastic-looking rear wing and integrated brake lamp. From the side view, some hints of the Ferrari F430 come to mind, which is always a good thing. The front end, however, is all Lotus, with a bold and aggressive stance, but we have to admit that the LED running lights do look a little aftermarket. The inside is all new and well improved compared to the previous model. With 3 available trim levels, standard, leather, and Alcantara, the use of better materials and the updated layout give the Evora 400 a quality feel. Controls are intuitive and easy to read, although we do have 2 minor gripes. First being that, although there is a push-button start, it is not a keyless system, so you're still required to use an old-fashioned key. Our other interior disappointment is with the infotainment center, which is basically just an Alpine stereo navigation unit dropped into the dashboard, and looks a little out of sync with the rest of the revised interior. We did love, however, the flat-bottom steering wheel, as it is a perfect size and feels just right. The seats are very supportive and comfy, and should be great for track day events. The car's side sills have been narrowed and lowered, making the cabin very spacious and comfortable, and getting in and out is fairly easy, adding to the overall comfort. However, to be expected for a 2+2 sports car, rear passenger space is pretty non-existent, and the back seat is limited to 2 types of people, small children or adults without legs. Obviously, this space is for storage only. Being a mid-engine layout, we knew that trunk space is going to be pretty limited, and our suspicions were correct as cargo room is an almost laughable 5.7 cubic feet. And no, there is no front compartment either, so you better pack light. How does the fastest production car Lotus has ever built drive? 2 words: very impressive. Our test car came with a 6-speed manual, and judging by how well it works, we would question why anyone with 2 working feet would ever choose the automatic. While some European reviewers have voiced that the clutch pedal felt too heavy and they had to search for gears, that was not our experience at all. We found the clutch pedal to be spot on, not too heavy nor too light. Also, gear shifts were very easy and precise, with a wonderful snick feel between gears. Being that so many other sports cars today use a dual clutch gearbox, it is so refreshing to see Lotus offer a manual, and a great one at that. Plus you get the added bonus of a limited slip differential, as it simply doesn't come with the automatic. Weighing in at only 3,075 pounds, the Evora 400 skips a high-priced carbon ceramic brake setup and goes with more modest steel rotors, albeit cross-drilled and ventilated. While brake feel is excellent, there is also a certain rawness to it, as you can even sense the metal on metal through the pedal. Pedal action is very progressive and inspires confidence, without being too grabby or too hard. Obviously, questions about brake fade and high-speed performance will have to wait till we get some track time, but that just gives us something to look forward to. The car's strongest suit, and what Lotus is most famous for, of course, is handling and steering feel, and let's just say that on a scale from 1 to 10, this Lotus scores a 15. Similar to a race car setup, Lotus uses a double wishbone suspension both front and rear, and while just about every other car manufacturer has switched to electronic steering, Lotus stays old school by keeping the hydraulic setup. Even with our limited time in the car, it is obvious that the Evora is very well balanced. The way this car reacts to your steering inputs is phenomenal, very playful yet direct. There is a connectivity that is just hard to explain, but once you feel it for yourself, you totally understand what is happening. It is simply sublime. The 3.5-liter V6 engine is actually sourced from a Toyota Camry. However, Lotus has added their own touches, including a supercharger good for 400 horsepower and 302 foot-pounds of torque. The most impressive part of the engine actually has nothing to do with power and everything to do with sound. When in sport mode, the engine is allowed an extra 500 revolutions for a total of 7,000 RPMs. Also, an extra valve opens inside the exhaust gate. The result is nothing short of spectacular. We would argue that this is the best sounding V6 on the market today. Unfortunately, despite the impressive power, this is definitely not supercar territory. And here's where we discover a shortcoming with the Evora 400. Its torque curve. Below 5,000 RPMs, the engine feels too docile, almost lethargic. but get it just past that 5,000 mark and the engine will give you everything it's been missing up until that point, which is to say, a lot. We wonder though if this power delivery is intentional in order to force the driver to keep the revs high for track driving. After all, this car is intended for the racetrack. The Lotus Evora 400 is the very definition of when the whole car is actually greater than the sum of all its parts. Yes, it has great brakes. Yes, it has fantastic steering feel. Yes, it handles superbly, and yes, it is fast. But frankly, so are a lot of other sports cars, especially in this $100,000 price range. What sets this Lotus apart and what other manufacturers struggle to duplicate is how well this car does everything together. When you drive the new Evora 400, you will swear that it is wired directly to your brain. You become one with the car. And on that note, I'm Paul Harrell with Sons of Speed. Thanks for watching.